Scratch the surface and everyone has a story.
We've come to the end of season 2.
And today, our last episode, we're going to be discussing all the women that we had chats with and things that we learnt.
Yes, reflecting on the amazing women that have come into the WOW studio.
We acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we gather today, the Noongar Wadandi Mort. We pay our respects to their elders, past, present and emerging.
Scratch the surface and everyone has a story. Welcome, Kai, to the wisdom of women.
We've come to the end of season 2. Can you believe it?
And today, our last episode, we're going to be discussing all the women that we had chats with and just things that we liked about every episode, things that we learnt.
Yes, reflecting on the amazing women that have come into the WOW studio. And we started off season 2, Otherworldly Conversations with Willie. What did you think?
Willie. I was nervous about Willie
Yeah.
because she can read your psychic aura and all about you, and I was nervous.
Yeah, well, we all
Scared.
were very concerned about how our psychic auras would be read by Willie. Thankfully, it was all very positive.
Yeah. Nothing negative, nothing bad. We weren't evil.
And I was fascinated, of course, Willie talking about how as a young girl she could hear voices. I found that really intriguing. And it
Even then learning later that her mum or something could hear it as well.
It's a gift.
yes, absolutely, it is a gift. And I think we were very, very lucky to have Willie come in and talk through us. So thank you, Willie. What a start to the season, because then we went from psychic, from Willie's great concept about trust your gut, which was the takeaway I had from our conversation there with Willie, to the other sorts of health about your gut, and that was with dietitian Lana.
Yeah.
Love your guts. Look after your guts.
Eat fibre.
Yeah. whole foods and whole wheat, and how we destroy the wheat. We take this bit and this bit, and use
take it
it,
apart.
break it apart instead of using it all together, which is why we need so many supplements and whatnot. She really brought it all back to proper eating and
Yeah, I agree, because we spoke about how, the food and health industry is worth over sort of $5 trillion across the planet. So there's a lot of misconceptions and there's a lot of questions. It's so confusing. What is good, what is bad? And I really loved the way that Lana just spoke about a healthy approach to what you're eating. Try and eat good, whole-based plant foods with your protein, and just every now and then it's okay to indulge.
I think people are just overcomplicating it.
Yeah. What I really loved about Lana is the way that she spoke about how we come in all different shapes and sizes, and we need to be accepting of that. And that it isn't necessarily that thin is healthy and big is unhealthy. So let's all start loving our bodies and accepting ourselves for what we are. We cannot all be what a lot of sort of social media or social idealistic notions about the body is. Just be healthy. I love that from Lana.
Suzanne.
I know, from a woman who's travelled the world. She came from her little town in Germany to Australia, full of world adventures along the way. Suzanne, with a message, despite language and culture, guess what? We're all the same.
see the person. Isn't that what she said?
She said it all with a lovely, calm voice.
Yeah.
Very nice for a podcast.
And I love the way she spoke about what you do does make a difference, that we all have an impact. And clearly her volunteering background was all about sharing culture and experiences. And I think she was very inspiring in making us all understand that we need to be a little nicer to each other and accepting of cultures.
Welcoming.
I think we're all welcoming. We're very welcoming in the WOW studio. We moved on to Jo Hill, a proud Indigenous and local Noongar woman who spoke about some of the rather dark history for local Indigenous, but also about how culture is important, telling those stories is important, and understanding that we can all be part of a better future together. Jo spoke beautifully.
So calming and loving and kind. And that's what I took away from Jo's episode was be kind, just be nice, everything's okay. and how she's speaking how her daughter was upset that she doesn't know about culture, and they're living in their culture. They actually are living in their culture every day, and I thought that was a really nice takeaway.
Yeah, yeah. I loved Jo's very, as you say, kind approach to it all. We then were taken on a rather raw, unflinching journey of a daughter's experience after her mother was diagnosed with MND. That, of course, was Naomi, or Nay, came in and spoke to us. Gee, she opened her heart up. What a journey her and her family have been on.
Powerful and sad, but beautiful.
Eye-opening, yeah.
Beautiful that she was an advocate for her mum, and she needed to really raise her voice to be able to advocate for her mum. So it's not, a lot of us will just accept what medical people tell us, because they're busy or underfunding, whatever, and she wouldn't accept. She had to keep fighting for her mum.
She
give
did.
her mum
and she was
dignity.
a daughter who just wanted to save her mum. So she spoke with great advice about advocating for the care of your loved ones. Then we had our cafe legend, healthy eating advocate. We loved the wonderful Annie. Gee, she can talk. Great yarns.
Well, we thought that Annie would be talking about natural temptation and we'd hear about the journey to start that, but actually we spoke for nearly 2 hours talking about Annie's adventures in life and the way, as a 17, 18-year-old, she just decided to go around the world and not tell mum and dad all the details.
Imagine me doing that, Mum.
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't. No.
Yeah. Just don't tell your mum.
Yeah.
But just amazing because she brought a lot of that back into how she and why she opened Natural Temptation. It was all about good eating and good living.
And I loved her ethos, a firm believer, of course, in being brave, in making mistakes, because, as Annie says, being perfect can be so dull. Yeah. Thanks, Annie. And then we moved on to Anne, a domestic violence survivor, former meth addict, and for a period of time living on the streets. Anne was another amazing woman who came and spoke with us and certainly opened up about her journey facing so many challenges and rising from it.
A lot of people go through trauma and it affects them differently. And some people go down that dark path of drugs and alcohol dependence. She found herself homeless. She made choices and she admits that, and now she's on the road to getting, well, she is, but it's probably a daily battle, but she's helping other people get there, and she's, making it better for herself and for other people.
Yeah, she changed her life and now she is promoting that with other people. And I loved her ethos. You are stronger than you realise. Thank you, Anne. To a fearless mum and advocate for her son Will, who has some serious medical challenges. But this is a mum who just did what she had to and continues to do. The fearless mother Gem.
Yeah, and she spoke in a way that didn't make you feel sorry for her. Her whole approach on it all is just very inspiring. We say that a lot, but it is inspiring.
She just she's pragmatic. She knows what she has to do. She has to do it. She can't be in a corner crying. She has to get up and help her kid and fight for him like Nay fought for her mum. She's fighting for her kid. Amazing woman.
Yeah, a really, really inspirational journey. Well done, Gem. To Leanne. Now, this is a woman who challenges to be brave, ballsy, and real with the thought that you are enough. I love this about Leanne. What did you think?
Resilience. Like some of the things that she said she was going through, like she sounded like she had no confidence and she was kind of downtrodden. And then she picked herself up and she's like a lioness, Amazing, powerful and inspiring, funny.
Yeah.
That was a really good one. Good
Yeah,
episode.
I love the way that she's taken her own background with, trauma, narcissistic abuse. She turned her life around. She is incredibly inspiring. I'd certainly encourage you to listen to Leanne's journey and the thought that we are enough. We're not deficient. Get out there, ladies, and live it. Good on you, Leanne. Another woman.
Moala, it's just not good to unpack.
Well, I'm just going to talk about her. Another woman who again, we talk about being inspired, but this was a double amputee who showed you can never keep a good woman down. Susan.
Amazing, because she had to lose part of her right leg, I think it was, and then a little bit later, after she's learning to cope with that, she had to lose her lower left leg. So now she's a double amputee, but she didn't just learn how to walk again and everything. She learned how to be a national show jumper or rider or whatever.
Yeah, learn how to ride a horse
Right,
afterwards.
I mean, hello. I mean, she was already obviously a very good horse person, but to do it with that happening to you, a lot of people would just sit down and wallow in their depression. Like she says, you can wallow.
And it showed how much of a passion she had towards horse riding and all that as well.
It brought her so much joy, and I think that probably was one of the big incentives for her. She's so stoic in her attitude about what was going on and resilient, and she just kept on going. And what I loved about Susan was the great advice she had about success being the sum of just small efforts, day in, day out. Keep going as much as you can. And some great advice also about when you're feeling down.
I think it is good to sit and wallow. It's just not good to unpack your bags and stay there.
Then we move on to a bit of a local legend, an extraordinary woman who has dedicated decades in caring for our wildlife. Doreen.
And I don't think there's any locals out here in the southwest who have not taken a bird to Doreen to be fixed that they found on the side of the road. And she's not just caring for the birds and the reptiles and guinea pigs, I think, and whatever else.
Whatever.
She, she's doing it all herself really with very little help from a lot of people. And amazing journey because she's had some health issues. She's just incredible.
And I have a theory that I think she probably likes her animals better than she likes some humans as well. But gee, what a larrikin. She's got some great stories, Doreen. So thanks for coming in and chatting with us. Well, now we all know that probably our regional areas are built on amazing women, keep catching up with other women. And we were very lucky to have the wonderful Rosa come into the studio to talk to us about the Country Women's Association that celebrated 100 years in 2024.
Congratulations.
100 years, it's gone so quick.
Yeah. You say that. You say that like you've been there the whole 100 years.
Feels like it sometimes.
Rosa was a perfect example of a woman doing things for her community. It's nice to see women in those roles when they are going beyond their own needs and self to the community, and explain to us that there's more to the CWA than just making scones or their fabulous sponges. Rosa had so much to say.
She's travelled the world and met so many international leaders and is doing so much for charity. I don't know. And she's got an Olympic torch.
Yeah, I was impressed by that as well. Yeah, carrying the torch. Well done, Rosa, and a big well done to the CWA as well. 100 years is beautiful. To a woman who knew as a child of just 8 that God had a plan for her. This was Carol. How blown away were you by Carol's story?
I mean, even I just had no idea about the world of
Religion?
yeah. So it was even interesting hearing more about that, and then her journey as well, being one of the first female priests was stunning.
Yeah, one of the first females, women to be ordained as a priest in the Anglican Church. So she was a pioneer in that sense, and her stories were quite amazing when she talked about how she would have people refusing to attend a service that she was taking. So good on you, Carol, for championing women out in an area. And as she says, she would prefer to talk about herself as a priest rather than a female priest. But
Yes.
that's the way it is, isn't it?
Yeah. One day we'll get there.
Then to a woman diagnosed with cancer and given 1 year to live, Wanda was, again, we keep saying incredible, but gee, listening to Wanda's journey was quite a road to take.
I was quite shocked when hearing it, actually.
Well, because basically life said, yeah, that's it. You're going now. And she said, no, I'm not going anywhere. And had this operation, and here she is, 10 years later? Is it 10 years later?
Yeah, 10 years plus.
Lady.
Yeah. And she had various operations, underwent various treatments for it all. Stoic is what comes to mind when when Wanda talks about just she never gave up. She was determined, grateful, positive. And I also loved her comment about what a woman should always hear, at least once in their life. We then had music therapist Jackie. Sid, I know you found this fascinating.
Yes, I did enjoy this episode a lot. I enjoyed hearing about the brain. The brain is such an interesting thing, something that is still it's so complicated. So it's interesting to hear about things that can happen with it.
And how music can take you out of your brain or unlock things in the back of the brain that you've forgotten about.
Yeah. When you listen to music, your whole brain lights up. I just found that cool.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. The power of music, awakening long lost memories and forgotten senses. And I love the science behind it because Jackie's done a lot of research and the emerging significance of what music can do for our brains. So that's going to be really interesting. And I love that Jackie's great quote was just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
I think 3 people said that quote actually.
Yeah.
Stories and inspiration, let's be honest.
Yeah.
3 words, that's all it takes. Now, good advice. We all need good advice. And for women, being financially independent is essential for us to get out there and live our lives. We had Alicia come into the studio to talk about women, vaginas, and money.
Well, I thought this was going to be really it's important to talk about financial independence for women and financial awareness for women, of course, but then Alicia stepped through the door and just blew me out of the water because she's hilarious, right, and amazing. I loved everything she said.
I thought it would all go over my head, but she explained it in a way that was just easy to understand.
I think she had some really good small practices that we can all help to build our wealth.
In week 1, you put in $1. In week 2, you put in $2. And then you keep going. And by the end of the year, you've got like $2,000 that's sitting there.
So go out there, ladies, and make sure you've got you're across your finances. We then had, again, the gift of music and a very interesting family journey. We had Billy come in and talk to us. Billy's another character. And what a story. Adopted as a baby to quite a high-profile political family in the state as well. There were so many dynamics. She later reconnected to a birth mother and extended family. But you're talking about an Indigenous woman who, grew up in a family so far removed from what her, cultural heritage was.
I mean, her grandfather being a premier, then her dad being the premier. She has had a lot of privilege with her education and everything, and then to come from one of the oldest cultures on the planet, continuous cultures, is another gift. I mean, and she embraces both of them effortlessly, and she does it with this amazing singing voice.
Yeah, powerful
Passion for music. She's incredible, and the things she's done.
Yeah, and Sid, she's your former music teacher.
Yeah, she was my music teacher. And, I thought she was so amazing when she was my teacher. And then hearing the story, like, what? You wouldn't expect it.
No. And to be a contestant on The Voice, I think she was too powerful for The Voice, to be honest.
Yeah. I think
they couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
She's too good.
Yeah, too good. Thanks, Billy, for the chat. Now, we all know mums are always determined when it comes to their children. And Tanya, I tell you what, she has 7 children that were diagnosed with autism. And how powerful is she in pushing for a better system for children on the spectrum within our education system?
Really amazing. The day-to-day life of Tanya must be incredibly difficult, but she expresses what that's like in such an articulate way, better than I'm speaking right now, to be honest. But she expresses in a way that what she's trying to do and the way they live their life is for the best for those individual kids that she's got at home. And it's not easy.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people don't understand what's people, caretakers, have to go through. So it was nice to actually hear and understand a bit better.
Yeah, I agree. I certainly don't think we can walk in Tanya's shoes. It was really good of her to explain a lot of things that we're unaware of. And I think it's really important to understand as well that we can do better with our education system in offering people who are on the spectrum so much better. They deserve better. Yeah, definitely. So there you go. There was our season 2. Chock-a-block full of amazing women with incredible journeys, all very individual and different. And I know that the three of us, probably taken away something, different from it all. I wrote down some things that really struck me in general about picking yourself up, know that you're enough, surround yourself with the right people. That's so important. And trust that everything will be okay. But you have to take steps. You have to move forward because things don't magically appear. So this was my take from season 2.
That's about right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took away, I need to know my worth, and that's nothing will change if you don't change anything. I know not only have I learnt that from here, but Mum, you talk about it a lot to me as well.
Yeah.
And I took away a lot about my health when talking with Lana. And I agree with what you said as well, to surround yourself with good people. Because as well, we talked about in the last season a lot about community and how important community is. And I think that came through with this season as well.
The village that it takes. Because all women have had, I think if not family, they've got friends, they've got people that are around them that support them. And that is the thing that we need to be continually, I think, doing better, is supporting people around us. Build things. Don't pull them down. Build it.
It goes back to what you were saying in the very beginning, that you don't care anymore about what people think. And so I think that is not surrounding yourself with bullshit people or people who are going to tear you down. It's that community. And so we've done like a full circle back to that. That's really
point.
it. Yeah, it's a really good point. And also I liked what you've said about Susan's episode about giving a space, taking the space to, if you're down, sit in that space, but don't unpack your bag. I think that's a really good one.
Yeah.
Because, we all go through depression and we all go through hard times and things that could break us. So we've got to acknowledge it.
And that's when I think about it a lot, actually. We were talking about it earlier today, and it's something that's always in the back of my mind. I know that I will have bad days, but I also need to remember to not stay in them, not linger in them.
Very important. Well, there you go. And we hope everyone who listened or watched on YouTube also took away some valuable insights and advice, and I don't know, even just a little bit more confidence about the fact that, you know what, we're all stumbling along in this beautiful thing called life, and sometimes we trip over, sometimes we say things. You know what, it is okay. Know your worth. Yeah. Everything is going to be okay. So thank you for season 2. Season 3, we do have a season 3 in planning, so we will be back for that, but we're also going to come back with a few little bits and pieces until season 3.
Yeah, you can't get rid of us. We're hanging around.
Yeah, I love the way you say that. Yeah, we've got things to say and do. So thank you again for being a part of the wisdom of women. And as I say, hope you took something from it.
And always remember,
Every day.
You are remarkable.